Good morning. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I need one of those whistles. So thank you all for being here. And for those of you that are here virtually, thank you as well. My name is Justin Turner. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the chair of the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery here at UAB, and it is my pleasure and honor to present our State of the Department address this beautiful Tuesday morning. Okay, so certainly this last year has been a year of transitions. I was fortunate enough to be named as chair of this department last year and started officially at the end of May. And then just a few months later, Christy Gidley, who was the longtime executive administrator for our department, was promoted to Associate Vice President of Practice Expansion at UAB Medicine. And so certainly we were sorry to lose Christy, but certainly happy that we still get to interact with her closely in her new role. I want to thank both hospital and university leadership as well as department leadership. It's really been my honor to lead this department over the last 8 months. But I want to thank our CEO, Don Bulgarella, Dean Agarwal, who's here today, Lou Baverso, our COO, Sherry Cannon, the president of our practice group, for their support of this department, not just in the last year, but for the last many years. That's allowed just the really rapid trajectory that we've seen over the past 5 to 10 years. I also want to note that I'm going to talk about a lot of great things that are going on in this department, and I take credit for none of them. So I've only been here for 8 months. So I really want to acknowledge the prior leadership in this department, including Bill Carroll, who was the inaugural chair of the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, and Brad Woodworth, who served as interim chair for 2.5 years. I mentioned Christy Gidley, who was the long-time executive administrator for the department, and then all of you, I believe, know Dean Stovall, who has served as our practice and operations manager. Also want to congratulate Dean. So Dean has officially been named our executive administrator after serving in the interim role since October after Christy departed. And you know, Dean's really been doing 2 jobs for the last 5 or 6 months, and I think has just been doing an outstanding job. So not only has he served as our executive administrator, but he's continued in his role as our operations manager. And it's just really been a pleasure working with Dean. I look forward to partnering with Dean in the years to come as we continue the trajectory of the public company. So 2024 was a busy year for us. We added 5 new MD faculty, and this was really essential for us to increase access to care for the patients that we serve. And we continue to have access issues in certain areas of the department. This is a focus going forward as we identify new areas for growth and expansion. We were able to expand our research laboratory space and double our NIH funding this fiscal year compared to the prior year. We added 2 dedicated research coordinators to improve our research infrastructure and allow for further growth. We added a new clinical site at UAB Otolaryngology at 119. I'll talk about that in some subsequent slides, but we're very excited about that opportunity. We formalized a department mentorship program for our early career faculty, and this is something that we did in line with our Department of Faculty Affairs within the university, where we're really trying to outline and be transparent with our new faculty what's needed for promotion, make sure that they're getting off on the right foot in terms of their career trajectory and their career development, identifying mentorship teams, so forth and so on. So I think this has been an early success for some of our new faculty, and we plan to continue this going forward. And then lastly, we were recognized as a top 25 ENT program by US News and World Report for the 5th year in a row. And so most of you that are familiar with the US News rankings know that this is not just based on reputation, but it's also based on a number of different quality metrics. So this is telling us that we're not just improving our reputation as a department, but we're really providing quality care to the patients that we're serving. So believe it or not, this is our 10th anniversary as a department. So we're a fairly young department. We previously were a division of general surgery and obtained department status on October 1st of 2015. This is a picture of a much younger Bill Carroll, who was the inaugural chair of the department. And so over the next year, we're going to be celebrating this 10th year anniversary in a number of different ways. So we've updated our residency and department videos, and these will be rolling out the next couple of weeks. I want to thank our marketing group have really helped with this, and these look fantastic. And I think these are really going to be a good face forward for us on social media and through our website. We'll be releasing an annual report this fall, and this will not just be a review of this last fiscal year, but it's really going to be a review of the last 10 years and some of the milestones for the department. So please look forward to that. And then we are going to celebrate. So closer to the actual anniversary date of October 1st, we're going to have a reception. And this is going to be an opportunity for our faculty, trainees, staff, alumni, friends of the department to get together and review the incredible trajectory of this department over a really short period of time. So excited about that. And then lastly, you've probably already seen in our quarterly newsletter some different alumni features. And we've also got a plan to review some of the top headlines that have come out of the department over the last 10 years. So this is an example from our last newsletter where we actually caught up with the first otolaryngology residency class that graduated after we became a department. And this was really an opportunity for these individuals to talk about what the department meant to them and their growth as otolaryngologists. And so please, this was a great read, and there's many more of these to come. So excited about rolling these out throughout the year. So this is actually a slide that I presented as part of my vision for the department when I visited well over a year ago. And you know, I really saw this department as a huge opportunity because it did have such a strong foundation, great reputation, great core group of faculty, strong residency program, but really had a lot of room for further growth and development. So in terms of patient care, stable market, limited competition, at least in terms of other academic medical centers. Now, certainly that landscape is changing rapidly and something that we're certainly keeping an eye on. The department is and has been in a financially sound position, and I think this really goes to the stewardship of departmental leadership over the last several years. And we have representation across all of the adult subspecialties. In terms of research, we have faculty participation in both clinical and translational research, clinical trials, multiple NIH-funded laboratories, and our trainees are actively involved in the research that's going on in our department. In terms of education, we are a high volume clinical program, and we take care of a very complex and very sick patient population. And this is a draw for residents and fellows to receive their training here, and will continue to be. Our graduates, when they go out into practice, whether it's in academics or community programs, they are well trained, and this is something that is a core value of this department. We already have fellowships in head and neck oncologic surgery, laryngology, speech language pathology, and the opportunity to expand some of these fellowship opportunities going forward. So one of my first introductions to this department was our department retreat last spring. And this was really a great opportunity for me to meet many of you and get to know what some of you perceived as potential challenges, but also areas for potential growth and expansion. And this was, I think, a really useful exercise. I think there was a lot of cohesion with folks' thoughts. It's very constructive. And so me, Christy, Dean, we actually took a lot of these recommendations and put these together to develop a strategic plan for the department for the next 1 to 3 years. The other thing that came out of this retreat was a mission and vision statement. And so we did not have a mission or a vision statement previously. And this was also constructed through a very iterative process. So during that retreat, we really tried to survey the staff, the faculty, about what they felt was important to each of us, to our department, what we were trying to do as a department. And we took that and developed some example mission and vision statements, and then had the division chiefs vote on those, and those were ultimately approved by the department faculty. So our mission is that we are committed to delivering high quality, innovative, and compassionate care driven by the latest research and a deep dedication to improving the health and lives of our patients. So high quality care, compassionate care, driven by evidence and research. Our vision was to be a world-class department. So we don't want to just be the best otolaryngology department in the city of Birmingham or in the region. We really want to have have a world-class reputation and be at the forefront of otolaryngology care, shaping the future of healthcare with innovative treatments, research, and education. I do want to remember some of our alumni who unfortunately passed away this past year. So Dr. Chris Lay was a graduate within the residency class of 2013. He was in practice locally along with Dr. Mike Sillers and Dr. David Kropf, who was a graduate of the residency class of 2000, most recently was practicing at the University of Missouri. So they are certainly missed by us as well as by their family and members of their community. So we currently have 19 faculty members, and we will be adding 2 this fall to get to 21. Those that are highlighted in green are actually new to the department within the last year. So at the bottom here, this is Dr. Ann Kane and Dr. Molly Perryman, who will be joining us this fall. And so about a third of the department is actually new within the last year. And so this really just brings a lot of new energy to the department, something that we're really excited about going forward. I want to highlight our new faculty. So Dr. Doris joined our facial plastic and reconstructive surgery division to join Dr. Cox. Natalie was a resident here and received subspecialty training at the University of Washington. So really glad to have her back. She's already getting very busy in her practice. Dr. Goncalves was a T32 resident at the University of Miami, stayed in Miami for subspecialty training in otology and neurotology. And she joined Dr. Erica Walsh in our otology and neurotology division. Dr. Dan Roque was in practice at Duke University, and we were able to recruit him. He was in practice there for around 8 years. He joined us as the division chief for head and neck endocrine surgery and co-division chief for head and neck oncology. And then many of you will recognize Dr. Mike Sillers. Dr. Sillers was a member of the department for many years. Dr. Sillers is a past president of the American Rhinologic Society and has a general comprehensive otolaryngology practice with subspecialty training in rhinology. And really great to have him back in the department. He's practicing at our otolaryngology 119 site at the St. Vincent's complex. Dr. Ann Kane has been in practice at the University of Mississippi for 5 years. She joins our head and neck division as a surgeon scientist. Her focus is on healthcare disparities and outcomes in head and neck cancer patients. And we were fortunate enough to recruit Dr. Molly Perryman to join our division of laryngology. She had no less than 6 job offers, and we were somehow able to keep her here. So really excited that she's joining us. We had some promotions this year. So Dr. Erica Walsh was promoted to associate professor. So well deserved. Dr. Walsh joined the practice, joined our department in 2019 as a junior partner, and shortly after her senior partner departed. And she's really been a division of one for many years, and I think has prided herself on always being available to her patients day and night, and really has just done an outstanding job as really the key otologist, neurotologist for the entire state, and excited that she was able to recruit a partner this past year. Dr. Do Cho is one of our surgeon scientists, was promoted to professor with tenure, and Dr. Jason Warham is one of our Ph.D. scientists in the head and neck division, also promoted to professor with tenure. So congratulations to all of these individuals. We pride ourselves in this department, and will going forward, on identifying leadership opportunities for our faculty, particularly for our early career faculty, either within the department or outside of the department. And this is just an example of some of the leadership positions that our faculty members hold. Dr. Roque, who is new to the department, is serving as the cancer liaison physician for the O'Neill Cancer Service Line. Dr. Green, who is our residency program director, is participating in the Healthcare Leadership Academy this year and directs the Gulf States Otolaryngology meeting each summer. Dr. Walsh is the chair of the Otology Neurotology Education Committee through the American Academy of Otolaryngology Head and Neck Surgery. Dr. McCannon holds several leadership positions, including Secretary of the American Head and Neck Society. Dr. Grayson was selected as our Department Value Officer and really has just excelled in this role, I think, identifying areas for continued quality improvement for the patient care that we deliver, and is a graduate of the LEAD program. And then lastly, Dr. Cho is chair of the ARF International Committee and president-elect of the Korean American Otolaryngology Society. And there are certainly many others, but we do want to congratulate all of those who hold these leadership positions and look forward to future endeavors. So in terms of research, this last year, we were able to expand our research footprint. I want to thank Tika Benveniste and Dr. Agrawal for making this a reality for us. We have brand new, newly renovated space on the 4th floor of the McCallum Basic Health Sciences building, more than 3,000 square feet with 4 PI offices. And this is really going to allow us to recruit the best and brightest investigators to join our department in the years to come. So really excited about those possibilities. Have some new grants in the department. So congratulations to these investigators. Edie Hapner and Sarah Hoke received a Speak Out grant to support voice therapy for patients with Parkinson's disease. And then Dr. Warren has really been on a roll lately. 2 R21 grants this last year, one to study research fluorescence surgical navigation, and one to evaluate topical plasmid-based approaches for cervical cancer screening. So congratulations to all of you. This is our research portfolio as it currently stands. We have just over $2 million in research funding. The bulk of this comes from federal sources, primarily the National Institutes of Health. We also tend to have several industry-supported trials at any given time, and these 2 areas make up the bulk of our funding. In terms of NIH funding, we've really seen some rapid growth over the last 10 years since we became a department. So going back to 2016, we had about $400,000 in NIH funding. This last fiscal year, that increased to almost $2 million. That's a 500% increase during that period. And we've been able to increase our ranking among peer institutions in otolaryngology head and neck surgery. So in 2016, we were ranked number 36. This past year, we were ranked number 28, which is our highest ever rank. And this area that's shaded in green above here, this was a goal that I set for our department to be in the top 25 in NIH funding within 5 years. So we're already really close to this mark. And I think with some smart recruiting and support of our current investigators, we're going to get there sooner than that 5-year mark. In terms of our industry support, this has waxed and waned over time. We have a somewhat small department, so we tend to have these larger trials that may come and go. We've generally hovered around the $600,000 to $800,000 mark for industry support. That did dip significantly this last year. And so this is something for us to keep an eye on, particularly as we may see a future lack of clarity with governmental funding sources. I want to congratulate Dr. Brad Woodworth. So Dr. Woodworth was accepted into Corliss this last year. For those of you that are not otolaryngologists and don't know about Corliss, it's one of the most prestigious societies in otolaryngology head and neck surgery. So this is an international society. You have to be admitted before the age of 50 years old, mostly clinicians, scientists, and other investigators in the field. So this is really an honor to be inducted, both for Dr. Woodworth and really for our entire department. So congratulations to him. In terms of education and training, we continue to be a popular landing spot for medical students who wish to do their otolaryngology clerkships here, as well as medical students who wish to be residents here. So we received more than 250 applications for our 4 resident positions this last year. We have 20 residents, 4 per year in our 5-year program. Over the last year, we've had a 100% board pass rate. So guys, don't screw that up. We're really on a roll. Two-thirds of our graduating residents pursue clinical fellowships, and more than 40% are in academic practices. And so certainly many of our graduating residents choose to stay in the state of Alabama or in surrounding states in the Southeast, but we truly have a national reach where we have residents that are in practice across the United States, and we want to continue to be a national program. One of the reasons that we're able to draw trainees to UAB is because we have such high surgical volume and such a complex population of patients that we treat. So our residents routinely graduate with 3,000 or more cases. They get a broad experience in all of the subspecialties in otolaryngology, head and neck surgery. We have some firsts in the nation in terms of providing training certifications for sleep apnea device implantation and robotic surgery. And these are certifications that our graduates can take to other institutions, and really, I think, puts them a step ahead of many of their colleagues. Our clinical enterprise continues to expand. So for fiscal year 2024, we saw more than 56,000 patients in our clinics, performed more than 4,000 surgeries. We're a small department, so we have 19 clinical faculty, soon to be 21, 20 residents, 3 clinical fellows, 15 advanced practice providers, 9 audiologists, and 6 SLPs. Most of our clinical practice is at the Kirkland Clinic, but we have a very successful and rapidly expanding clinical site in Hoover, which our patients love and our providers love. And we have a new clinical site at UAB St. Vincent's 119. And so this is a private practice that's been headed by Dr. Mike Sillers for many years. It is right off of Highway 119 in the St. Vincent's complex. It's immediately adjacent to a Surgery Center. We're really excited about the opportunities that this practice brings us to further expand our practice to the communities where our patients live. This is a heat map showing where our patients come from. And so certainly we see a lot of patients from the Birmingham metropolitan area, but we're really seeing patients from throughout the entire state of Alabama. And we really have become, I think, a destination program, not just for patients in the state, but also the entire southeastern United States. So we're seeing lots of patients from eastern Mississippi, western Georgia, the panhandle of Florida, Tennessee. And we want to continue this expansion where we have these really unique clinical programs and we're providing excellent care so that we can bring patients into our clinics. Regardless of which metric that you look at, we're growing rapidly. So whether it's cases, clinic visits, work RVUs, we're expanding with an annual growth rate of around 5 to 9%. We expect to continue that, particularly with some of our new recruitments and new faculty that have joined in the last year and who will be joining us this coming year and in subsequent years. So really proud of that. And in addition to acknowledging the volume of care that we provide, I want to also recognize the quality of care that we're providing our patients. And so we had 14 of our providers, including advanced practice providers and physicians, who were recognized with patient experience awards. And many of these individuals you will recognize are on this list quite frequently. And so this is just a real testament to the quality of care that they are providing. I want to highlight some of our unique clinical programs. First of which is our comprehensive smell and taste clinic. This is a program that was started by Dr. Cho a few years ago, shortly after the COVID-19 pandemic, when we had this huge influx of patients with smell and taste dysfunction. And this was a program that was developed with support from the dean's office and from the institution. And I think this has been a really important resource for our patients and really has brought a lot of attention to our department. You can see this is a story in the lay press in the Washington Post where Dr. Cho was quoted, and there have been many of these articles. So I think really highlights the work that's being done in our department. And for those of you that don't know, there's really only a handful of these smell and taste clinics in the United States and only 2 in the Southeast, of which we are one. So our facial nerve program, this is the only facial nerve program in the state of Alabama. This is a multidisciplinary group of otolaryngologists, microvascular surgeons, therapists, radiologists that really provide a host of advanced diagnostic and therapeutic procedures for this complex population of patients that have multiple different diagnoses, all of which lead to facial nerve dysfunction or facial nerve paresis, which can be really life-altering for these individuals. So 692 patients seen in fiscal year 2024 with an average growth rate of around 10% per year. And similar to the department at large, we're drawing patients not just from the Birmingham metropolitan area, but throughout the state and surrounding states. So great job to all of these individuals. Our trach management team went live in January of 2024. This is a program that started as a quality improvement measure to standardize tracheostomy care across the entire healthcare enterprise. It's an APP-led service that provides care not just at the bedside, but also in the clinic setting. Many of these patients with surgical airways require long-term care. Fiscal year 2025 projected growth for this service line is around 20%. So really proud of the work that this group is doing. So we are, again, a smaller department with around 20 or so physician faculty, and we really depend on our outstanding advanced practice providers for the care that they provide to our patients. I want to credit Allison Seaman for just really developing an outstanding team. We have 15 full-time advanced practice providers, and many of them have subspecialty training. So 6 are trained in head and neck oncology, 6 are primarily in our general services, including otology, rhinology, and sleep, 1 in laryngology, and 2 in the inpatient trach team. Ambulatory utilization by our APPs was up by 8% last year, and we already have 135 more arrived appointments for this year. So really proud of the work that that group is doing. I do want to highlight 2 individuals. This is a group that's always advancing their medical education and being recognized for the quality of care that they provide. So Emily Smith was honored this past year with a $30,000 donation to the School of Health Professions to establish the Donna Slavinsky Endowed Fund, and this is in honor of the great care that she has been providing to her patients. And Lana Hunt will receive specialized training in Inspire technology for sleep apnea treatment so that she can further partner with Dr. Kirk Withrow in taking care of this very large patient population that we see. I want to acknowledge our administrative staff who really keep the wheels on for the department, support our trainees, our faculty. Many of these individuals have been with the department, not just for years, but for decades. So I want to thank all of you for the hard work that you do. We would not be where we are as a department without your continued support. So I want to highlight the work that's going on in each of our divisions. We have 6 clinical divisions in the department. I want to start with our facial plastic and reconstructive surgery division, which in the past was a division of 1 with Dr. Art Cox, but we were fortunate enough to be able to recruit back Dr. Doris, who joins Dr. Cox. This division provides the breadth of services in facial plastic and reconstructive surgery, Mohs reconstruction, complex rhinoplasty, cosmetics, and we're looking to expand our laser services over the next months and years. So excited about those opportunities for growth. Our head and neck surgical oncology and microvascular reconstruction service is one of our busiest and largest services. More than 2,000 unique head and neck cancer patients were seen by these individuals in fiscal year 2024, with more than 2,500 surgeries performed, including 100 robotic cases, 100 free flaps. I want to again welcome Dr. Roki, who joins the department. He's already off to a great start developing an RFA program, and we'll offer a new CME program this fall, a thyroid and parathyroid update. We already have a date for this, bringing in some outstanding speakers, and so really looking forward to that. And then again, we recruited Dr. Ann Kane from the University of Mississippi, who will join this division as a surgeon scientist. So looking forward to the expertise that she brings both clinically and also the research program that she will bring both to the division and to the department. An important part of our head and neck division, in collaboration with other parts of the medical institution, including medical oncology, is our Sullivan Survivorship Clinic. This is a clinic that started in 2020. It was named after Coach Sullivan, who was a player at Auburn and coached several schools in the state of Alabama. Was diagnosed with head and neck cancer. And this is a program that really supports head and neck cancer patients throughout the state, regardless of where they receive their primary treatment. So it offers personalized survivorship plans, referrals as needed, monitors the long-term effects of treatment in this population. More than 1,000 unique patients have been seen since its inception in 2020. So a great credit to Dr. McCammon and Reed Hale, who lead this clinic on the otolaryngology side. And I was fortunate enough to have dinner with the Sullivan family, along with Dr. McCammon a few months ago. They are still very engaged in this clinic and recognize the importance of it. So we're looking forward to great things to come with the survivorship clinic going forward. Our laryngology division, again, we were able to add Dr. Perryman, who would join us officially in September of this year. Added a clinical research coordinator to help with clinical research projects that are ongoing in this division. Through the excellent, outstanding leadership of Dr. Edie Hapner, added 3 speech-language pathologists to further support the division. And this is really a program that's becoming a destination for singers and for treatment of the professional voice. We'll also say that this is by far the most musically gifted division in our department. I was invited to their holiday party this year, and I really felt like I should have been charged admission. So really, really impressive. Our otology neurotology division is headed by Dr. Erica Walsh. And again, we were fortunate enough to add to that division with the recruitment of Dr. Goncalves. In the last year, they were able to establish a multidisciplinary skull-based center and conference. We've added audiologists to further support our physicians and advanced practice providers. A new temporal bone lab to help with resident and trainee education. And one highlight is that in the last 5 years, we've had 3 residents pursue neurotology fellowships, whereas previously we had none. And I think this is really, I think this really goes to the leadership of Dr. Walsh in that division and the experience that our residents are getting that makes them want to go in this field. Our rhinology, allergy, and skull-based surgery division has 6 providers, including most recently Dr. Mike Sillers, who is treating patients again at our UAB 119 practice. Also includes Dr. Ed Boyd, who provides allergy services for our entire department. I want to congratulate Brad Woodworth, who was voted Faculty of the Year this past year by our graduating residents. Dr. Grayson serves on the Leadership Council of UAB Women in Surgery. Collectively, this division had more than 20 peer-reviewed publications in the last year and has over $1 million in NIH research funding. And this is certainly the division that has the most frequent flyer miles. So Drs. Cho, Grayson, and Woodworth are constantly being invited across the globe. And I think this really goes to the great work that they're doing. So about 25% of my time as chair is spent signing off on international travel approvals for them as they travel the globe. Dr. Edie Hapner continues to really be an outstanding leader for our speech and hearing services division, including in the last year, where she's been able to add 2 audiologists and 3 speech language pathologists. We now have an audiology externship, which we're hoping will be a pipeline to add more audiologists to the department. This tends to be a bottleneck as we try to provide services to our patients with hearing loss and otologic issues. Very active in research with multiple internal and collaborative grants, multiple peer-reviewed publications, national and regional presentations. So not just providing outstanding patient care, but really being active academically as well. So it's just a brief snapshot of our financials. So we're doing well. In the last fiscal year, our revenues were just above just above $11 million in terms of clinical revenue against expenses of $10,382,000. That left us with a clinical operating margin of just under $1 million. And after contributions and transfers, our net income was $772,000. And we've generally maintained a margin over the last several years. I think this really goes to the stewardship of past leaders of the department, particularly Christy Gidley, who ran a very tight economic ship. Like many departments, we are becoming more and more dependent on philanthropy to support the non-clinical aspects of the academic mission within the department. This last year was no exception. We received $456,000 in total contributions from 145 unique donors. So thanks to all of our donors for this past year and for previous years. We have 10 endowments within the department, a total portfolio of just under $6 million, including 3 endowed chairs and 3 endowed professorships. So again, we're a small department. So for a department that has 20 faculty, to have 6 endowed chairs and professorships, I think is really a fantastic measure of the engagement of our alumni and our patients. And this allows us to retain some of our outstanding faculty members and to recruit the best and brightest to join us here in the department. I want to highlight the Glenn and Allison Peters Endowed Professorship, which is not formalized yet. We are still actively fundraising for this. For those of you that have already contributed, thank you so much. We're very, very close and really looking forward to honoring Dr. Peters with this endowed professorship, hopefully in the next few months. So with that, I just want to conclude by discussing very briefly some goals for the next year and beyond. And so I don't mean for this to be very rigid in nature. And I think, certainly one of the things that we've learned collectively over the last year is that this landscape is changing very rapidly. So between the time when I accepted this position and actually got to campus, there were already all kinds of changes that had occurred in the landscape in the Birmingham metropolitan area in terms of healthcare delivery. And we're continuing to see movement throughout the region. One thing that I think is important to the department is we really need to provide more general comprehensive otolaryngology services. And I think that we've done a really fantastic job of assembling an outstanding group of subspecialists within the department. But many of our patients don't need subspecialists, and they have multiple otolaryngologic issues that need to be managed. And so as we look forward, particularly with our surrounding sites in Hoover and at 119, and potentially identifying other sites where we can grow and expand our practice, I'm hoping that we can continue to develop this side of our practice. We are continuing to expand and modify our strategic plan for the department as we identify growth opportunities, particularly in the community setting. And this is something that we're doing in partnership with hospital leadership. And one of the things that I think there's fairly broad support for within the department, and certainly within our patient population, is to bring our care to where patients live. And so I think what we want to be doing going forward is focusing patient care here at UAB Hospital and in Kirkland Clinic for patients that have really complex multidisciplinary care issues, and take most of our ambulatory services that are more convenient, not just for our patients, but also for our providers. And so we are looking for opportunities and are very excited about continued growth and development of our services, both in Hoover and at the 119 practice site. We've been very successful with research, but we want to continue that trajectory. And we really want to develop active research programs in all of our divisions. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that every division needs to have a wet lab presence, but we really need to identify bright individuals with a lot of potential that we can recruit to this program and really support the investigators that we have so that we can expand our research enterprise and continue to make that a focus for our department going forward. And then lastly, we want to expand our educational programs and CME offerings. And I really think this is one of the best ways that we can bring positive attention to our department and educate colleagues throughout the state, the region, and the entire country. And so very excited that we already have a new CME program that we'll be offering this fall with Dr. Roki's thyroid and parathyroid update. And we're looking at perhaps 2 to 3 more CME courses that we'll be offering the next couple of years. So again, I just want to go back to our new mission and vision statement and again highlight that both our mission and vision are very patient-focused. We want to continue to deliver high-quality care, compassionate care, but we still want to take advantage of our position here at one of the preeminent academic institutions in the United States to be able to offer the best in terms of research and innovation, education. And so really excited for things to come. In support of that mission and vision statement, we want to continue to promote a positive workplace. I think one of the things that I hear very frequently about this department is our staff, our trainees, our faculty really like the culture that we have. And we want to continue to promote that positive workplace. And so that is, I think, really on all of us to be good colleagues, work together, and to do that in a way that optimizes the services that we provide to our patients. But lastly, we want to continue to stand out. So, when I describe our department, and I think this is true for otolaryngology departments across the United States, we tend to be one of the smaller departments on campus. And sometimes it can be difficult to stand out. And so for those of you that are trying to find Waldo, he's in that lower right corner. But we can sometimes feel like, where's Waldo? But the truth is, we're a small package, but we provide services that are closely intertwined throughout the medical center and provide really important collaborative services for multiple departments on campus. So we want to continue to perhaps be a small package, but to really hit above our weight in terms of the services that we provide. So with that, I'm going to finish. And I think that I'm happy to answer any questions. It's been my honor to be a part of this department for the last 8 months, and look forward to working with all of you in the years to come. Too easy. All right. Well, I think we've got some treats and coffee, so please everyone help yourself before going. Thanks everyone for being here.